Hello everyone, I'm Sonali Jolly and I'm going to take social studies. Okay, now before starting the today's session, I would like to ask one question. Our earth is divided into two things. The first is the water body and second one is the land masses. Do you know what is the ratio between the land masses and the water bodies? I guess yes. But if no, I'm here to tell you. Please have a look over here. This is Mother Earth, and I have divided this figure into two colors. The first is the brown, and second is blue. The brown represent the land masses, and the blue represent the water bodies. And do you know that our Mother Nature, our Mother Earth, is divided into two parts, that is land mass and the water bodies. And I tell you what is the ratio of this land masses and the water bodies. The land mass covers the 29% and 71% is covered by the water bodies. That means the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, and all the water bodies. Okay, it covers around 71%. Oh my God, that's huge. But today we are not interested to listen about the water bodies. We are quite interested to understand that, oh my God, I mean, this 29% is actually the land masses. And today we are going to learn about that 29%. Okay. Now, what are these land masses? These land masses are actually the continents. Okay. Now, now this is very important to understand what is the difference between the land and the continent. Now, the land and continent is nothing different. The thing is, the continent is a huge land masses, very huge. ये बहुत बड़े बड़े land masses होते हैं, बहुत बड़ी बड़ी जगह होती हैं ये, ठीक है? So we are going to study about them one by one. But before starting, I would like to show you something so that you can easily understand the places of these continents, and then we will one by one study about them. Have a look over here. What are continents? They are the huge land masses. Okay. Now, please understand one by one. I'm Asia and I am the largest continent. Okay. I'm Europe. I am Europe. I am the third largest, but I am actually a good friend of Asia. That's why we together sometimes call as Eurasia. Okay. You often had heard this word Eurasia. Why do we call it Eurasia? Because we combine two continents together, that is Europe and Asia. Okay, fine. अफ्रीका भी दूर नहीं है ज्यादा, ठीक है? अफ्रीका भी यही है. Here it is Africa, Asia, Europe, and Africa. Africa is very hot. Why it is very warm and hot? Because it lies on the equator line. This is the imaginary line and it is very hot. Why it is very hot? Because the sun rays are actually putting on this equator line directly. And that is why the continents and the countries, those who lie on the equator line, they are usually very warm. It is very difficult to live there. Okay. Now, here comes the North America. It is very cold. Why it is very cold? Because it is actually comes under the northern hemisphere. Basically, the equator line divides the whole globe into two parts. The upper portion is known as northern hemisphere and the lower portion is known as southern hemisphere. And that is why we put the name of the oceans like this only, as South Atlantic, North Arctic, like this. Okay. So equator line is an imaginary line and it divides the globe into two parts. And that is why our continents are divided into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Likewise, the northern hemisphere lies only in the northern hemisphere. The North America continent lies only in the northern hemisphere, and that is why it is very cold. And here comes the South America. It lies below the equator line and some portion lies on the equator, and that is why it comes under the southern hemisphere. And the last one. The last one is the Antarctica, which is actually vanished. Why it is vanished? Because it is actually covered with ice, and ice is melting day by day due to the global warming, and that is why it is not visible to us. It is visible, but very less. And here comes the last one, that is, I am the smallest continent, and its name is Australia. And can you see that all these continents are divided? Sorry, they are separated. They are separated with the help of the water bodies, and they are the huge land masses. And so is the reason we call it as continent. Now it's a turn to go one by one. Okay, let me ask you a few questions and you will give me answer. Okay, it might be wrong, it might be correct, but don't worry about that. At the end, we will going to have the answers of all the things. Here comes the first continent. I don't know the name. I am the largest continent and I located in the eastern and northern part, and I'm having 48 countries in me, and I cover the one third part of the earth. Who am I? I'm the largest one. Please write down the comments, write down the answers in the chat box only. I think I should reveal the answer. I am Asia. I am the largest continent. I do have 48 countries in me. I covered one third part of the world, and I located in the eastern and the northern part. Okay. Here comes the second one. I'm telling you, I don't know the names. You have to tell me the names. I am the second driest continent. Second driest continent. I have 54 countries in me, and I'm famous for elephants, rhinos, zebras. In short, I'm famous for my wildlife. I do have an abundance of the wildlife. Who am I? You know what? Whenever you know about that something is calling about the elephants, the rhinos, make sure it is about Africa. Okay? Africa is very famous for the elephants. Okay? Here comes the third one. I lie totally in the northern hemisphere. I told you. I lie totally in the northern hemisphere. I do have 23 countries, and the largest country I do have, that is Mexico. And I'm very famous for jaguars and alligators. Any guesses? It is North America. I told you that North America totally lie in the northern hemisphere, and that is why it is very cold. Why it is cold? Because that region is known as frigid zone, and frigid zone is always cold. Okay? These are the polar regions. And do you know why polar regions are so cold? Because the sun rays don't go there directly. It comes directly on the equator, and that is why Africa is very warm place. Okay? Here comes the next one. I'm having 12 countries in me. I do have the longest river, Amazon, and Anaconda lives here. Do you know who am I? I tell you. That is South America. I am South America, and anacondas live here. Do you know? Do you know something about Amazon River? It combines the river. It combines the water of 10 rivers together. That means if you combine the water of the 10 rivers together is equals to the Amazon River's water. You know, this is the longest river after Nile. Do you know where Nile resides? It's in Africa. Okay. I am famous for the spectacular scenery, and I love this place. Do you know? And you too. I'm famous for the art collection, and I have the world's smallest city, and that is Vatican City. Any guesses? Who am I? Any guesses? Yes, this is Europe. I am Europe. I do have the world's smallest city, that is Vatican City, and I'm very famous for my beautiful architecture. You know, Europe is a place to visit. This is a very famous place for the scenic beauty and for the buildings, for the old architecture. They were built at the time of the British rule. It is very famous for that, and it should be visited by all. Here comes the next one. No towns, no cities, only research work. No people live here. Why? I am this much bad? No, you are not this much bad. But actually, you are very cold. Any guesses for this thing? I think the image tells you. It's Antarctica. Why anyone don't live here? Do you know why? because it is covered with ice. It is very difficult to live in such extreme climate. You know, in Africa, at least some people are living, at least some people are actually inhabiting at that I mean in that continent. But in Antarctica, it is very difficult to go there. Only the researchers, only the scientists go there for the research work. And you will be proud to know this, that India is also a part of Antarctic research. Okay, now this is an add-on. Here comes the last one. I am the only continent which is covered by a single country, and I'm the smallest one. And the koala bear, which is very cute, very cute, also lives here. And one more thing I would like to tell, that recently this place was in the news due to the forest fire. Any guesses for this place? Yes, I am Australia. So, in this manner, we have done all the continents one by one. We know what is the largest, what is the smallest, which is famous for what is famous for what. Basically, we have understood each and every fact related to this continent. So, in this way, in a very fun way, we have learned about what are continents, why do we call them huge, and why these continents are separated with each other by what water bodies. But we are going to cover the water bodies in the oceans part. Okay, right now we have done only the continents part. So, this is all from my side, and keep learning, keep shining. God bless you. Bye bye.